Hi ladies, I am going to show you how to make this card. So let's get started right away. This is a pop-up card, so if you hang on to the bottom and pull this cord, it comes up just like that. Isn't that adorable? I think it's so cute. So I made another one, which I made first, and this one has the DSP on it. And so it's a little trickier. If you decide to do this, make sure that you get it glued down all over very well, but it makes for a beautiful card, a very sweet card. So what we're gonna make today is this one. So let's get started. So my first piece of cardstock is 5 1/4. How about 11 by 4 1/4? And I chose basic black. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And then I am going to do, the next layer is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. Whoa, I got it now. Okay, and so this is going to go on top of here, but we're going to do a couple things to it before then. So we're going to do a partial cut. So I'm going to bring in my big shot so I can show you guys how a partial cut is done. So this is the important part. I want you to be able to see where this is going to go. So I'm using the 3rd rectangle from the largest on the stitch rectangle dies, and I'm going to center it on the real red cardstock, just like that. And I am going to put my plate on, but not all the way. I'm going to put it on so that the bottom of the die, this portion down here, and I bet you guys can't see this. Let me turn it this way and see if that works better. The bottom portion of the die, the plate is not on it. So I just want to go right up to that bottom part and then just go ahead and run it through. And because it is getting the speed bump effect, I am going to run it back through again. But I want it to stay put, so I'm going to hang on to that. So, that out. And let's see what we got. Okay, so the speed bump effect is, this is what it does. It makes it so that it doesn't cut all the way through, because when it goes over speed bumps, it hops. So I'm going to take my scissors, my paper snips, and I'm just going to trim that off a little bit. It just barely needed touched. And so that gives me a partial cut. So now I need to score this. So I'm going to take my paper cutter. I'm done with that. Probably should have told you what stamp set I'm using. The stamp set is Nothing's Better Than. It's the bundle. And it includes all these amazing dies. So they say coffee, chocolate, cocktails, and cookies. And then this one says Love You More Than. And I like it because each word is separate. So it's a great, and then it has a cocktail, cookie, chocolates, they're right here, and a cup for coffee. So it's a great set. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to score from this end of this cut to the end of this cut is all that I want to score. And I'm going to do it just like this. And I'm just going to go between those 2 lines. And then I'm going to crease that up really good. And I'm going to score at 1/4 inch. Which is just right. It's a small amount. I'm going to flip this around the other way. I usually get a better shot at it on this side. So you want to make sure your paper is straight. And just 1/4 inch there. And then I'm going to score at 2 1/8. So right there. Okay, and that's going to give us our folds. Now we're going to go back to the big shot. So because this looks like a little shop, grab all my tools here that I needed. Here's our platform. So I'm going to take this that I just did all that cutting on, and I want to score and cut and fold everything before I run it through the embossing folder so that my folds will still be there after it's embossed. So, and then I'm just going to put it in the brick wall embossing folder here. And I'm going to go this direction so my bricks are going across like it looks like a shop. Okay, but I'm going to feed it through this way with this edge first. Remember that. Edge goes first. And there we go. And I know that's shaking like crazy, isn't it? I'm sorry. It didn't shake too bad. Must have been some stabilizing going on in the video. Okay, good. All right, so see, this is why I wanted to crease it first, because when it comes out of there, it has its own new lines. Okay. That's going to be off a little bit, because it formed a different line there. Okay, that's the problem with the brick wall. Okay, so let's move on with the project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and it's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and this is my mechanism. This is what's going to make it fold. And I'm going to use some tear and tape, and I'm turning this over to the back. So I'm going to hook this on the back. And I'm just going to put tear and tape across the little flap that's there. And peel that off. Let's make sure it's on good. Peel it off. And I'm going to pull this through this way because I want a really flat to work on. And I have to leave a little bit on each side. So, and I don't want to see white. See, I see white. That's why I use my silicone mat, so that I don't see that white. And I have to go over a little bit more. So this could probably be a little bit wider even. Okay, good. All right, now this is going to come back up. Do make sure that you're doing the right side. Your bricks are going the right direction. And this is going to go through the hole and come to the back. So now this gets pulled up. Okay, next step, we're going to make a finger hole in this real red, just so that when we pull, and that's a 1-inch hole punch that I punched in there, and I have a 1-inch circle punched in red. And I'm going to fold that in half, and this is just going to be for reinforcing. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive on the back of that and just attach it right there. So, because we're going to punch a hole in there, and we're going to put a ribbon in there, and people are going to pull on that when you get this card. So that's why we want to reinforce it. So I'm going to use a 1/4-inch hole punch. It doesn't have to be any special hole punch. Mine happens to be one that Stampin' Up! Used to carry years ago. Sorry about that loud noise. And then this is just a piece of twine, a piece of red twine. And I'm just going to stick that through. You could use ribbon here, anything you creatively can come up with. And I know you are so creative. So let's put that through the hole. Okay. And then I'm just going to tie a knot here just to be sure that it doesn't come undone, since it's a cord. And cords sometimes have a tendency to slide out. I could have cut my cord a little longer. Okay, now I'm going to cut it off as soon as I find my paper snips. It's all right, in my tub. Okay, that's ready to be mounted. Okay, so then I'm going to turn it over to the back, and we are going to attach some, okay, this will fit along the bottom of the foam adhesive strips. I guess I don't use these so often as I should. I can't remember the name of them. Alrighty. And the nice thing is these come in a package like this, and there's two in here. But you can use them all the way out to the edge. You see the frame around the edge? That is the same thing. It's just frames the others. And so you can use them all the way to the edge of the package. You can use everything off of that package, which is great. So, and I'm putting them on, but leaving space. Now, if you don't have the foam adhesive strips, you could use maybe the mini dimensionals. Going down there, take a lot of dimensionals. Or you could cut strips of paper. And that's how we used to do this project, is by cutting strips of paper. And so what I would do is take and cut a 1/2 inch strip and several of them, mount them together, and then cut them in smaller strips, glue them together, and then cut them in smaller strips. So you'd be cutting through several of them at one time. If you have a cutter that will do that, if you have a Carl, it will do that. And so you'd be cutting through several at a time, and that would give you the dimension, because what you need to do is just get it up so that when you pull, your pull has room to slide. So this has plenty of room. Okay, so now we're going to peel those off. Peel those papers off of there and attach this to the front of my card. Okay. See if I can get this where I can see it good. So there we go. Perfect. All right. Now, for the inside here, I cut 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 4. One of them's for the inside and one is for the outside. I've embossed this one, so we're going to use it on the outside. This one, it's going to go in here so that when you pull this up, you have a place to put your greeting. So before you attach this, stamp your greeting on that, and it just slides right inside of there, and you glue it down, okay? So we're just going to leave it in there for now. Okay, so let's go with, oh, and this, I cut a piece for inside, and just a little strip of this DSP. This is left from the Bumblebee packet. Unfortunately, we don't have a really good black and white right now. It'll probably come out in spring again. But I had so much of this left over, and I know so many people who do. And this was perfect for this project. So I attached that, and then I'm just going to put this on the inside of my card. So my card has multiple places for you to write if you wanted to, or put a greeting. So that goes on the inside. Let's work on the front of our card. So this is the piece that I embossed with the embossing folder. And this is a piece of that Bumblebee paper from last fall, or from spring, I guess it was. And what I did is I die cut the edge here with the die from the prized peonies, or from the peony die, I guess it's called the peonies die. And so just to give it the scallop edge look, I did that already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and because it's supposed to look like a storefront, I decided that my curtain should stick out a little bit. So I'm just going to score this at 1/4 inch. Right across there. And just give it a nice little fold. And I could do this with tear and tape, or just adhesive, and I think I'm just going to go with the adhesive, or you could do it with a liquid glue. So this is going to go right across the top of here, just to give it a storefront look. Okay, and I forgot to cut my cookies, didn't I? I didn't cut my cookies word. Okay. So then I have my cookies that I'm going to put on here. So I'm going to put cookies like this across here. Okay. I left my word downstairs, but it's the die that was in the kit. And so then we'll just go ahead and do my cookies. So my cookies were stamped with soft suede on for the outside, the outline. So I did soft suede for the outline. Don't want this under here, don't want ink on it. And then for the inside, I used Crumb Cake. So it's a two-step stamp, so the inside is colored. Makes it much quicker this way. You can make lots of cookies real quick. And I'm just going to come in here, and you want to go a little bit inside. I line it up with this and go a little bit inside. So let's see. Those are it. And then you're going to die cut it, and the die does come with the coffee in the set. So this die will cut out this cookie. So we'll stick it in there because I already have 3 cut. So I'm going to attach these cookies by gluing them on. One here, one here. My third one gets a dimensional. Otherwise he'll crush the other 2, right? Okay. And this one's going to pop up this way. Okay. Then to assemble this card, I want to glue this onto the front. I'm going to use liquid glue because it's probably going to take a little more wear and tear, and it is an uneven surface, so the liquid glue does great. I am not going to glue down into the 1/4 inch line down there, and I don't want to go too close to the edges because it will glue there, and I don't want that. So just going to attach this. I'll have to add the cookies to this, the cookie greeting. But there it is, and it just, you pull it up, and inside, I can put my greeting in there and glue that in. So I'm just going to pull this way up, slide it in, and position it. So I left it so that you had a little black outline, a little outline of whatever color, so you would see almost a layer in there. So there we go. So if you stamp a greeting in there, then it's ready to go. So really cute, really adorable. I look forward to seeing what you do with it. If you need any supplies, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. There we go. And if you're on my blog, you can click the link below to see the supplies that I used for this project. So thank you very much for visiting with me today, and I will see you soon.